were not there by chance, Kratos!
All glory be the Lord Zeus for granting you safe passage to me.
The king of the gods does not aid me, Eos. I am but a slave to Zeus and Olympus.
A slave to the Olympians. The gods will release neither of us from our torture.
Save my brother, Kratos, and he will convince Zeus to release you and rid you of the horrors of your past. I give you my word.
Where has Atlas taken him?
Retrieve the fire, and it will light your path to the remaining steeds. They will guide you to their master. They will take you to my brother.
Be gone!
If you do not find him, only darkness and death awaits all of us.
You chose your path. Host of Sparta!
Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Play God of War Chains of Olympus. Last time, Kratos lost a battle. Not the first time that he's had a loss, obviously against the Furies. He's been chained up and tortured for a while. This time it was much less time imprisoned. Yeah, welcome to episode 4. Before we begin and do anything major, we're going to go ahead and collect our final Phoenix Feather of the game right here and right now. This is our 15th and final Phoenix Feather, which means we now have full magic as well as full health. Obviously not full health right now. Charon really fucked us over back on the ferry, but now we've gone ahead and got ourselves full magic. You can also start getting health by attacking the other prisoners here and just killing them for some of their sweet green orb juice. Oopsies. You can also break the literal chains here to get ourselves some red orbs for upgrade and stuff later on. There are 2 paths to take here. The path on the left leads us on to the story. The path on the right is stupid and unnecessary. I'm going to show it off just for the sake of showing it off, but it is really dumb. First of all, there's a whole bunch of these super difficult soldiers and some archers. The Hades variant of archers, so they're also very difficult and do a ton of damage. God, these guys suck and they do a lot of damage and just generally are not good enemies to fight. And the only thing that's here, aside from some more guys to kill for green orbs, is one blue orb chest. You would think there'd be a white chest or something, but no, it's just the one blue orb chest.
Here, where the souls of the wicked are tortured in the pits of Tartarus, wailing and agony of the damned resonated deep throughout the bowels of the underworld.
I cut off there, but welcome to the depths of Tartarus, first of all. I got cut off there, but yeah, screw that stupid section. That stupid little hallway with all the soldiers and the archers, the only thing being there is a blue orb chest. That sucks. I don't like that. Anyway, this is our first required fight in the depths of Tartarus, the next area of Hades that we're exploring, and we're fighting full-fledged, full-sized Furies. These Furies cannot simply be grabbed and killed like these Harpies, these full-sized adult Harpies. They cannot simply be grabbed and killed like regular Harpies. You have to hit them once with your Blades of Chaos, as you saw me do. Hit them once, then, no matter how far away they are, if that hit connected, you can press circle, and you will be able to grab them and instantly kill them. But you have to hit them with the Blades of Chaos first. If you don't, they're just going to fly away from you and do an attack and do an annoying amount of damage. So make sure for the full-sized Harpies that you hit them with your Blades of Chaos first, then you can press circle to actually to actually grab them and kill them immediately. Otherwise, nothing's going to happen. They're just going to dodge out of the way and just start pecking away at you or clawing at you with their talons, and it's very annoying. They can also dive bomb you, which you can't block. You just have to dodge out of the way of, which is also annoying. You can see more of that later on. First off, though, we have another fight here with more soldiers and more archers. We're going to get to see more reasons why these enemies suck. By the way, this area is pretty interesting because I died here in my practice playthrough, and I got this really weird glitch where after I came back, I had my sun shield, basically turned on the entire time. So Kratos always had the sun shield on him for some reason. And there were less enemies here that spawned in also for some reason. It's a very weird bug that happened. I couldn't recreate it for the real playthrough, but it's just something that happened in the practice playthrough. That was pretty interesting. That the sun shield just appeared and just never went away for some reason. Anyway, these fucking soldiers. These fucking soldiers don't really follow the Ascension rules at all, where if an enemy's off screen, they're just not going to bother attacking you or shit. These guys don't fucking care. They're just going to appear and they're just going to do some major damage. God, look at how much fucking damage that stupid charge attack did. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. I don't like these soldier enemies at all. They are one of the hardest enemies in God mode. Not as hard as like Satyr bombers, but they are quite annoying and they are quite numerous. Especially in this video when we are in the depths of Tartarus. Their home territory, basically. They suck. The archers are also not great either, but especially the soldiers. They are just ugh. Thankfully, the archers, even these Hades variants, can be killed by just pressing circle once. They do still have low enough health that just one grab is enough to automatically kill them. Regardless, we've lost to Charon. We have been thrown down here. We have to work our way back up, and we have to actually kill Charon in order to use the ferry to get to the place that we need to go. We're also going to take advantage of the fact that we're down here, though, and we're going to investigate. This is the area of Hades where the Titans, following their defeat in the Great War against the Olympians, were imprisoned. So we're going to go ahead and take this opportunity to see if Eos is actually telling the truth and see if Atlas is actually here or not. If he's not here, then Eos is telling the truth, and Atlas did take Helios for some reason with that power to destroy the world, go into that pillar. Again, we don't know why exactly. We just know that he did. He might have. So now now that we're down here, we're going to go ahead and confirm that. We're also going to need some kind of a weapon to take on a Titan, because obviously Titans are, giant people, and Kratos, as powerful as he is not equipped to just kill a giant person, at least not yet. So we're going to need something that will give us some kind of an edge. And our Blades of Chaos, as useful and as wonderful as they are, just ain't gonna cut it for these kinds of enemies. So we're gonna have to go ahead and also get ourselves some kind of other weapon that will go ahead and give us an advantage against our foes that are upcoming and numerous. And we'll actually be getting that new weapon pretty soon. Sip of water. So I've been talking for a little over an hour now. I want to make sure my voice is doing a-okay for continuing the ramblings. This is kind of where the pacing of the game starts taking a slight hit, just because we're going to be in the depths of Tartarus for so long. This is not the longest video of the series, but this is the longest area of Chains of Olympus. Not the longest video of Chains of Olympus, but this will be the longest area that we're in, the biggest area that we're in. We're going to be in here pretty much uninterrupted for a good long while, so get comfortable with this particular kind of aesthetic, because this is what we're going to be having for a good amount of the remaining runtime of the game here. Here we get to learn a little bit more about the three of the main Olympians: Poseidon, god of the seas, and what they did following their defeat of the Titans. Again, building up the fact that this is where the Titans were imprisoned and banished to. Prisoners like Charon, prisoners kind of like Kratos too. we also get our first peek at what these gods actually look like, what Zeus and Poseidon and Hades actually look like. It's pretty interesting, as this game came out before God of War 3, before we actually got a chance to see all these guys in full HD, so it was a good opportunity to get our first eyeful of them before that game, where we really get to meet them and talk to them and do other stuff to them that you probably already know about, because God of War 3 came out a long time ago, but you know, kill them, basically. For now, though, we're just getting to know them, getting to know some of their accomplishments, namely their defeat of the Titans and what they did post the Titans. Now we have ourselves a pretty difficult battle. This is going to be a Minotaur and various archers. After you kill the first Minotaur, a second Minotaur will appear. So I would recommend you save that Minotaur that is trying to kill you right now. I'd recommend you save killing the Minotaur for last, because after you kill that Minotaur, a second Minotaur will appear to replace the first one and give you something else to fight. So take out all the archers first. The archers, after you've done killing them all, there's not going to be a second wave of them. Just kill them all as they continuously pop up. Eventually they'll stop popping up, and that means there will be no more archers to deal with. Remember, Minotaurs at medium range will swing their sword. At short range, they will do a headbutt. And from long range, they will do a charge. And big enemies generally will not bother you if small enemies are attacking you. So keep that in mind as you deal with the archers first, that the Minotaur will probably not be bothering you too much if you're dealing with archers. But after you're done dealing with archers, the Minotaur will turn its full attention towards you. There's its medium range attack. There's its short range attack again. After its short range attack, the headbutt, you have that opportunity to do some damage. Many less hits are required now because your Blades of Chaos are fully upgraded. Remember, after you deal with the first Minotaur, a second one will come to replace it, so you have an opportunity here to open up that chest. The second Minotaur won't spawn until you're in roughly the same area you were where the first Minotaur spawned in from, so you have an opportunity to run around the field and open that chest for extra health or magic if you want it, before taking on the second Minotaur. And again, all the Minotaurs except for the ones in the final area behave the same, so if you're at close range, it's always going to do the headbutt attack. You have an opportunity to just roll out of the way and just attack it. After you roll out of the way a few times, before just the headbutt again, repeat the process again and again until it's actually fully dead. And that's that. That's that fight. It's pretty difficult, but not impossible, because again, the Minotaurs that are not specifically the Minotaurs from the final area they all behave exactly the same and follow a very specific pattern. That's a very cool particle effect, by the way, with the fire in the hallways here, and how the little sparks keep falling down to the ground. It's a very nice effect. I really like that. Nice touch. Anyway, with that fight out of the way, we are basically home free now to get ourselves the legendary Titan imprisoning weapon. A weapon necessary if one of these set Titans, Atlas, is actually free and walking around. We're going to need something to imprison him again. So, hopefully, this weapon that we're going to get will do the trick. And spoiler alert, it will do the trick. No more fighting from here until we get that weapon, with one very small, very easy exception. Do some sidling animation, do some sidling action here, some very slow sidling action. One of the things I don't really fault Ascension for is cutting out stuff like this a lot. There are, some slow areas of Ascension, obviously there's plenty of slow areas of Ascension, but they do cut out the long sidles like that, just to keep the pace going again. This was at the point where God of War was attempting to do things to trim down the experience and tighten it up to make it a very action-packed, focused thing from beginning to end. And, one of the things is just cutting down on things like beam puzzles and sidles and sidling and stuff like that. For this particular encounter with these archers, it's not a real battle. There's only one wave, just these 4 guys. Make sure you run up to them immediately to grab them and kill them, because otherwise they're just going to keep attacking you from a range, and it's going to be very annoying. You're going to take a lot of damage. When those 4 guys appear, just run towards them immediately so you can actually kill them very quickly, so you don't have to deal with their bullshit at all. Learn a bit about the Jailer of Tartarus. He has the key necessary to get the weapon that I have been hyping up now for a few minutes. The Jailer himself is long dead. He's just whatever. Hades apparently doesn't care about replacing his people. I guess it's not really necessary after a while, once you realize the Titans aren't really going anywhere, that who really cares about keeping this shit organized anymore. Open ourselves a white chest. Remember now that all white chests are going to contain additional red orbs and shit because of the fact that we collected all the Gorgon's eyes and Phoenix feathers. I wasted a lot of time just attacking the chair that the Jailer was sitting on to try and break it and grab him, but all I had to do was get close so I can mash circle to actually do the animation of kicking. I did not realize that when I was playing through. I forgot about that, which is why I just did a little cut there towards when I finally figured out that I had to just mash circle to kick his throne over. Anyway, all that work out of the way, and we finally have what we need to... We finally have the wave pay forward for us to get to this small little temple here. A temple dedicated to this weapon that imprisons Titans, sitting on top and imprisoned Titan. So it's kind of a dick move. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty big dick move, if I'd say so myself, and the Olympians are nothing if not big dicks. Anyway, that's the weapon we want to get, the Gauntlet of Zeus. Before we get it, though, we have to go through one more little encounter. It's just going to be against 2 more of these Soul Reaper guys, whose names I don't know and don't want to bother learning. Go ahead and do what we've been doing this whole time against these guys. Break their shields, and then just wait for them to attack and just parry that. Parry that, and do either square or triangle to do damage back to punish them with that parry. And eventually you'll just kill them both. Very, very straightforward. That's it. I mean, I killed the first one without having to do the QTE. The second one I did the QTE. That's it. We're all done now. Now we can go ahead and learn a little bit more, but this is the Gauntlet of Zeus. Having vanquished his enemies in the ancient war, Zeus demanded that Hephaestus would grant him a weapon that would bind the Titans to the very walls of Tartarus, and thus the Gauntlet of Zeus was created, and thus this is what we're going to need if we're going to bind a Titan back into Tartarus. Because if one of them did in fact break free, we're going to need something to actually, fucking imprison them back. In that case, it's the Gauntlet of Zeus. So immediately after acquiring the Gauntlet of Zeus, you're going to want to pause your game, and you're going to want to go up to the Gauntlet of Zeus, and you're going to want to upgrade that shit to level 2 immediately, because you want Olympic Strike. Olympic Strike is kind of broken. The Gauntlet of Zeus is a super powerful weapon. Its level 2 and level 3 attacks are kind of super definitely broken and extremely useful in God mode. Definitely want to get them as soon as possible. Hopefully you've saved up enough red orbs that you can just upgrade the Gauntlet of Zeus to level 2 immediately. When there's multiple enemies, like in this occasion, you want to use a combination of the Gauntlet of Zeus and your Blades of Chaos, because these enemies are still extremely dangerous. Even with the powerful weapon of Zeus, you're still going to want to launch enemies into the air. You're still going to want to mash circle button with the Blades of Chaos. You're also going to want to use this in tandem with the Gauntlet of Zeus. The Gauntlet of Zeus is super useful. It's not the safest method of killing enemies. You're definitely going to take some hits using the Gauntlet of Zeus. Jesus, look how much fucking damage I took from that one attack from these guys. The Gauntlet of Zeus is super useful, it's super powerful, and towards the end of the game, when it's all fully powered up, we're going to be using it more and 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 more. For now, you want to use it in tandem with your Blades of Chaos. Because your strategy with the Blades of Chaos of launching enemies up into the air and mashing circle is still the safest, best strategy for dealing with enemies. So, yeah. you're going to still need to keep doing that. But you can use it in tandem with the Gauntlet of Zeus to do additional major damage and to stun lock enemies, because Gauntlet of Zeus is capable of stun locking enemies. It's not capable of doing large area damage control, at least not yet. But it is capable of doing large amounts of damage to a few foes. So if you're dealing with like 1 or 2 enemies at a time, then yeah, go ahead and just go all out with the Gauntlet of Zeus. If you're dealing with like a whole horde of enemies, you're going to want to keep switching between the Gauntlet of Zeus and the Blades of Chaos as appropriate, at least until the Gauntlet of Zeus is fully powered up. When the Gauntlet of Zeus is fully powered up, we're going to have full battles where we just use the Gauntlet. Like, I'm sometimes going to defer to the Blades of Chaos because, again, that strategy of launching enemies up in the air is still the safest strategy to use. But, you know, once the Gauntlet is fully powered up, I'm just going to go ahead and just use that Gauntlet for everything, basically. Like the fact that we use them to destroy these statues, to unlock a new path forward so we can keep investigating the depths of Tartarus. We still want to work our way back up to fight Charon and take the ferry towards that pillar where Helios is at. But we also want to make sure that Eos was telling the truth here, and that Atlas really has been released and has taken him. For harpies like these, you don't really want to use the Gauntlet of Zeus. You want to still use your Blades of Chaos to attack from a distance, and then just press circle so that you can automatically grab them and kill them. This is one of the few times in well, this is the beginning of God of War doing things in chronological order anyway. This is the beginning of God of War doing things where the path in front of you is blocked and you have to take both side paths to open the path in front of you. This is going to happen more and more and more as we continue on with the God of War franchise, where we have a path forward that is blocked and we have to take like 2 or 3 side paths to do stuff in those 2 or 3 side paths to actually, you know, unlock our way forward. This is the first case in Chains of Olympus where we have to do that, where our path forward is blocked and we have to take these 2 side paths and get into these 2 encounters that are forced encounters to open our path forward, and so that way we can continue on. This is also where we're introduced to armored mythical creatures. So we've been introduced to armor previously with the shields that those Soul Reaper guys carry. But now we're introduced to the fact that enemies can have armor. And if enemies have armor, you can do a couple of things to them. You can either do Blades of Chaos combos that end in triangle, or you can just attack them with the Gauntlet of Zeus. The Gauntlet of Zeus is faster, especially if it's level 2, and you have Olympic Strike, because you can just do L1 square, and you can destroy the armor that enemies may be wearing with very, very little ease. It takes like just a few hits. You can also use the Gauntlet of Zeus to just completely decimate Cyclops very, very quickly. It took me a few more hits than normal because the Cyclops wasn't getting close enough for my fully charged Olympic Strikes, but you can charge up the Olympic Strike to full charge, and you can just kill Cyclops in like 2 or 3 hits. Well, like 3 or 4 hits, actually, depending on how charged up it is. The Gauntlet of Zeus is super powerful, and again, we'll be seeing later on, when it's at fully level 3, just how quickly it can dispose of enemies and stuff. For now, just know that the Gauntlet is powerful, but until it's fully powered up, you're going to want to keep working in tandem between the Gauntlet and the Blades of Chaos, because by itself, the Gauntlet, especially in God mode, is not going to lead you all the way to victory. It's going to take you most of the way to victory, but it's not going to lead you all the way, just most of the way. The rest of the way, you're going to have to use the Blades of Chaos and the strategies already discussed and shown off so far, like launching enemies in the air and mashing circle and parrying and things like that. You can also parry enemies with the Gauntlet of Zeus. You can also launch enemies into the air with the Gauntlet of Zeus. It's just more difficult to do so with the Gauntlet of Zeus because the Gauntlet of Zeus, while very powerful, is also short range, at least for now. It's short range. At level 3, we gain an attack that increases its range with a specific attack quite a bit. But because of the longer range of the Blades of Chaos, you want to use them for things like what I'm doing now. You want to use the Gauntlet of Zeus just to lay down like major damage in a short amount of time. Like the fact there's only one enemy here, there's no reason to switch over to the Blades of Chaos. I can just stun lock them with the Olympic Strike, as you can see, and just keep attacking them over and over until they die. Very straightforward. Now we're about to enter a more difficult battle. So that previous battle against the fully grown Harpies and Cyclops and the armored Cyclops, very easy. This battle against the Medusa. There's the animation of the rock. Of it freezing me to stone, and then the other enemy attacking me. That was wonderful. This battle is more difficult by virtue of there being regular soldier enemies here, as compared to there just being mythical creatures like the Harpies and the Cyclops. The fact that there's the soldiers here, and the fact that soldiers do so much damage, and I consider the soldiers one of the most difficult enemies to deal with in the entire game. Yeah, this is, of the two battles you have to do to open the path forward, this is definitely the most difficult of the two. Don't be afraid to use magic here. I don't use the gauntlet that much in this battle. You should use it more than what I'm using. Like right now, I should already be using the gauntlet. And I think I'm going to switch over now and just rely. Yeah, here we go. I've switched over to the gauntlet now that I've broken out the stone. I'm ready to just rely on it completely because the gauntlet is just super powerful. And because we're doing the thing where we're making sure that we don't get overwhelmed by enemies by going up to certain areas of the arena, so that the camera is not on all enemies, so that we don't have to have all of them attacking us at the same time. We can do damage control. We can use the incredibly high attack strength of the gauntlet to just decimate the few enemies that do dare to enter camera, like this poor soldier. We just kick the ass of. And now we can just Olympic strike stun lock them until we win. So that's nice. This is a difficult battle, but not something that should overly worry, especially if your Gauntlet of Zeus is already at level 2. I believe this is the last soldier now, whose ass I'm kicking. And we go ahead and just keep striking him until death. There we go. I believe that is it now for, yep, that's it. So that's fun. Another sip of water. Any battle with the soldiers is a gamble because of just how much damage they do, just how annoying they can be. It's my least favorite aspect of Chains of Olympus God mode. Truly. I didn't climb down correctly, so I climbed back up for some reason. Anyway. Having gone both ways now, our path forward is open, so we can now continue our journey forward. We see another Titan imprisoned here. It's strange because we're seeing all these Titans now, but we're not going to be properly introduced to them until a little later, actually, for some reason. Like our helpful narrator should have explained to us who these Titans were already, but they've decided not to yet for whatever reason. Anyway, now we come up to a smaller area with some archers. Go ahead and just run up to them immediately so that they don't start shooting at you and do major damage to you with their arrows. You can see behind the bars there that we have ourselves a red orb chest and a white chest, just waiting to be collected. We'll be getting those soon enough, in just a few minutes. There is a pretty messed up bug with those particular chests that I am going to get to show off in this playthrough, so that's exciting. We'll be getting to see that in just a few minutes. A little bug revolving around those chests and our next upcoming battle. But for now, go ahead and kill more of these poor prisoners. Get their sweet, sweet green health for your own. For some reason, that soldier didn't want to die. And now we have ourselves a short cutscene introducing the Titans. See you after.
Kratos saw before him the remnants of the old rulers of Earth, the mighty Titans. Defeated by the gods and enchained in the depths of Tartarus, they suffered their unjust penance. And for their torment, it was well known that these immortal beings hated the Olympians with immeasurable fury.
I mean, it's not our first view. We saw a few of them already, but maybe the other ones are dead. I don't know. And these ones are actually alive. We'll see. Anyway, this upcoming battle. and these chests. There is a little something revolving around these chests and this upcoming battle, namely a bug. So you see what I'm doing here, where I'm going off the beaten path first to get those chests. Don't do this. You definitely don't want to do this first. You want to do the battle that we're going to be covering in just a minute here. You don't want to do this first, because if you do this first and die, as you will see, all of these chests will not reset. So all these wonderful chests down here will not reset. You will miss out on thousands of red orbs. Again, it's not a big problem in Chains of Olympus, because in Chains of Olympus, we're going to have a surplus of red orbs, even missing out on all of these. But we see that we have 7,290 red orbs right now, right? It's a pretty good number. It's a pretty good haul from thanks to these chests in this area, right? That's all well and good, but as you'll see, we're about to have an encounter with another Minotaur and some archers. It's a particularly difficult encounter, and we're going to die once. And, it's a shame, but it happens. I don't die that many times in this area, so, when it happens, whatever. And this is that encounter that I was speaking of. The Minotaur and some archers are going to appear in the background. We can only kill the archers via countering attacks. Anyway, the point is, Minotaur kills me, whatever. This chest respawns fine. It's all normal so far, right? But if we were to then return to that area off the beaten path to recollect our thousands of red orbs from those chests, we will discover a horrifying little reality. All those chests are still open, and we do not have those thousands of red orbs. Yeah, it's a very devastating little bug that happens. So when you get to this area, do this battle until you win. And the proper way of doing this battle is going to this little corner here so the archers can't actually target you because they're not on camera. Go to this corner here, let the Minotaur do his charging attack. There's his charging attack, by the way. Use your gauntlet to kill it as quickly as possible. It's kind of a luck of the draw if you're going to get hurt by the Minotaur or not, but use the gauntlet to kill it as quickly as possible. If it's level 2, great, because it's going to take less hits. And then just use your... then just parry back all the arrows that the archers shoot at you to conserve your magic. Because you're going to want to save that magic in case you want to do something like Ifrit later on. Because Ifrit's far more useful than the Light of Dawn. Anyway. You want to do this fight first, kill all the enemies here, and then go and get those chests with the thousands of red orbs that we missed out on. Otherwise, you will miss out on thousands of red orbs. It's a shame, but it happens. That is a bug of this area. Thankfully, it doesn't matter too much in Chains of Olympus. It matters a little bit in that you're not going to upgrade your weapons as quickly, but you are still going to be able to upgrade everything in the game because, like I said, at the very end of the game, you're going to have a surplus of red orbs thanks to the final area of the game giving you a surplus of red orbs to the point where I finished the game with like 10,000 more red orbs than I actually need because Chains of Olympus gives you more than enough red orbs to actually finish the game with everything fully upgraded. It's not trying to screw you over or waste your time with the second playthrough if you don't want to. It just lets you do everything you need to do as soon as possible to have the best possible God of War experience on a handheld console. But anyway, the whole point of that, just do that fight first with the Minotaur and the archers, then go ahead and actually open up all those chests. Otherwise, you'll miss out if you want to upgrade everything later. This battle, more soldiers, more archers. Keep doing the strategy we've been doing. Isolate enemies as best you can. And launch them up into the air, or if they're archers, just press circle to immediately kill them. Nothing much to write home about. These enemies are difficult, but they're not the most dangerous thing that you'll encounter at this point, because at this point you know how to deal with them. At this point you know the strategy in God mode for how to safely deal with such enemies, with such pests, as it were. I believe there is only one more archer here. Yep, just this one last archer, and we're done. Yep. This room isn't really a puzzle room at all. It kind of sets itself up to look like it's going to be a puzzle room with these two levers, but really just pull both the levers in order to have the room necessary to actually make your way across. So very, very straightforward. Nothing too crazy here. Again, the scope of Chains of Olympus is smaller, so we're not really going to waste our time with big puzzles all the time, every time. Some things are just going to be very simple and straightforward, like that. So go ahead and now climb up, and we get to move across the ceiling. Chains of Olympus does not do the thing where you fight enemies in the ceiling. You fight enemies on the wall, but you don't fight them on the ceiling. It's a small thing about Chains of Olympus, just something that didn't really have time to implement, I guess, because again, the scope of Chains of Olympus is much smaller than of the other God of Wars. Anyway, all this is to pull this particular lever so that we can go ahead and create a gap, a gap, so that we can actually now make our way to the surface, back to Charon, because now we have everything we need. We have our weapon to imprison Atlas. All we have to do now is confirm that he's not here, and then we can go back up to the surface to confront Charon and actually move on. But first we have a cutscene.
By the hands of Zeus, the Titans had been bound and shackled in their torment for 1,000 years, with no hope of escape. Now the chains that once held the Titan Atlas lay broken, and only one question plagued the thoughts of Kratos.
Who would release such evil?
Well, there you go. I was just talking about confirming that Atlas is not here, and he is not here. He is gone. So, yeah. He is gone. Helios has been taken. The story seems to match up. So now, by the way, these all enemies can actually grab you, so you have to press L1 and R1 to throw them off before they kill you, because they do a ton of damage if they do grab onto you. But yeah, now we have everything we need. We have a weapon necessary to imprison Atlas as necessary. We know Atlas is not here. We know where Helios is, at that tower. All we have to do now is escape from this place and get Charon to take us across the River Styx, because that's the only way we're going to get to that tower. We're probably going to have to kill him, because that's just the Kratos way of doing things. Yeah, we have everything we need now. So now it's time to move forward and you know, get the hell out of Dodge. To do that, we encounter these shackles of Hyperion the Titan. We go ahead and kill some enemies, and we just start moving this by rotating this lever in a circle. Basically, that's not much to write home about. It's very straightforward. Enemies are going to pop up occasionally, so you're going to want to be ready for that. Have your gauntlets of Zeus ready, because you're going to want to just knock them off the platform as soon as possible. Otherwise, they are going to be more trouble than they're worth, and they're going to do more damage than you would like. So go ahead and just knock them off. In the case of the harpy heads, just grab them and kill them immediately. In the case of the soldiers, just use the Olympic strike to just knock them off the platform as fast as possible. Repeat the same process here, and that'll be that. We'll be all done with the depths of Tartarus. That chain at the very end, that is the end of the depths of Tartarus, and after that we will return to Hades proper. To the area of Hades that is being lit up by Helios. You can actually start seeing the light already down here a little bit. The fact that the light of Helios is so bright that it shines even a little bit down here in the depths of Tartarus, where Titans are enchained, is just more testament to how powerful he is. But anyway, after that brief little encounter with harpy heads and soldiers on this little platform, just keep rotating and rotating and rotating, and we'll be all done. That's it. That's the end of the depths of Tartarus. Now we just have to go ahead and knock this chain, so we can actually create a a way back up to the surface for us. So we're going to go ahead and do a nice, powerful Olympic strike. There we go. And yeah, now it's time to make our way back up to Charon. So here we go. We're going to have ourselves a short little cutscene, and then we're going to be in Hades proper, part 2. Now that we have completed our little quest to get the hell out of the depths of Tartarus and get all the information and material, and information and gear that we need to move on. And we are now back at the surface. At the surface, we can see in the background that the fairy and Charon are still hanging about. They haven't left. That's convenient for us, I guess. We're going to go ahead and hop back on and challenge Charon to a rematch because we want to get to where Helios is. Don't forget to open these 2 white chests. Grab yourselves plenty of red orbs and health and magic. And then get ready to bust down this wall after we, of course, upgrade our Gauntlet of Zeus to level 3, because we want this Gauntlet of Zeus to be as powerful as possible, as early on as possible, because we're going to need all these moves to, to kick ass to kick ass in the end game, because we're basically in the end game now. After dealing with Charon, we're going to be moving on to the final area of the game, because we're already almost done. Anyway, break through that wall. We're back in a familiar arena with the exact same fight that we had before. That's why I'm speeding it up, because it's literally the exact same fight against the Harpy Heads and the 2 Soul Reapers. Nothing is different except for the fact that we can now destroy the 2 little holes where the saw blades pop out of. So now the arena is no longer as constricted as it was the first time, which means I have no reason to fear moving around, and thus it's very easy to kill both enemies without dying twice like I did the first time. So that's cool. We can run back here if we want, but like I said, Chains of Olympus is so small and so short that none of the chests respawn with stuff, so there's your clearest example of that, the fact that those chests did not respawn with more stuff in them. Now we move on forward, and it's time to challenge Charon to a rematch. We can go ahead and ring the bell again if we want, but it doesn't matter now. Now that Charon is here, ringing the bell does nothing except probably piss him off a little bit. And a quick save-a-root, and now we knock down the gate, and now it's time for a short cutscene before we move on to our next boss fight for realsies.
You again.
The walls of Tartarus would not hold Atlas, and they would not hold me either.
The gods have obviously taken pity on their slave.
You underestimate me, Charon. This time I will not be so merciful.
Slaves and prisoners pitted against each other. Good old Olympus. Alright, it's time for the real second boss fight of the game, against Charon for real. Charon is divided up into 3 phases. The first phase, you want to use your Gauntlet of Zeus the entire time. It's powerful at this point, so no reason not to. Charon is exactly the same here as he was in the fight that we had to lose to him to. He only has 2 attacks, where he attacks you with his Sai a few times. That's completely blockable, as you can see. And he also throws green orbs at you. You can parry those back at him. You can reflect those back at him, I should say, to do some major damage. When he gets down to about half health, as we'll see soon, he's going to go ahead and do his instant kill attack that he did last time. Except this time it's not going to be instant kill, because we have the means necessary to stop him from doing that particular attack. But first we need to actually get him down to half health first. But again, this first phase is very easy. This is now the second time we've done this first phase. Very simple. Don't let this fool you though, because Charon is a very, very difficult fight. Not for this part, obviously. This part is very straightforward and very easy. It's going to be for what comes afterwards. So here he's going to do his instant kill attack. Use your Gauntlet of Zeus to knock down one of the pillars. Doesn't matter which one, just knock down one of them. And now we move on to the second phase of the fight. The second phase of the fight, Charon does Charon's Wrath attack, an attack we're going to have soon enough. That attack stun locks you if it hits you and does major amounts of damage to you, nearly killing you, if not fully killing you, if it does hit in God mode. So be careful of that. I die quite a few times because that attack is bullshit and it's the worst thing. It stun locks you, it instant kills you basically. It is the worst possible thing. So we're going to cut back to when I'm back to this part of the fight. It's such a bullshit second phase and such a bullshit attack. What you really want to do in this part of the fight is really take it slow, because that attack is going to stun lock you, it's going to kill you if you're not careful. Just keep your distance away from him. Use the Light of Dawn. This is one of the few times where you definitely want to use the Light of Dawn attack, the rapid fire version of it, just to keep your distance and do some damage on him. If he gets close enough, he's not going to do the attack from too far away. He's only going to start doing that stupid Charon's Wrath attack if he's really close to you. He also does his regular psi attacks, as you saw. I died 4 times to this stupid second phase because the second phase is such a bullshit. God, I hate the second phase. It's basically the same as the first, but he adds that stupid Charon's Wrath attack. It's so horrible. I hate the second phase of this fight so much. Stay the hell away from him as much as you can. Obviously, in God mode, the Light of Dawn attack isn't going to be enough to carry you all the way to half health. You're going to have to eventually get close enough to him to attack him. I got lucky that he didn't try to use Charon's Wrath too much in those last few hits, but still, it's pretty devastating. Thankfully, while Phase 2 is complete and utter bullshit, Phase 3 is super easy. All Charon is going to do in Phase 3 is the shockwave attacks. He's not even going to do his basic psi attack. He's not going to do Charon's Wrath. He's just going to do these basic shockwave attacks. I did get hurt by that one shockwave attack because I was so surprised that I got through the second phase without dying a 5th time. But yeah, these shockwave attacks are nothing compared to the majesty of bullshit that was his Charon's Wrath attack. You want to dodge roll the way out of the way of that attack. Yeah, it's such a horrible attack. But again, this third phase is very easy. It's just shockwaves. He's just going to do 2 regular small shockwaves from 2 corners of the fairy, and then he's going to go to the center and do a big shockwave. You jump over that, you hit him, and that's it. He's also going to throw the orbs at you, occasionally, but mostly he's just going to do these the shockwave attacks. Just 2, then he goes to the middle, and then he does the big one, and then you hit him. And then you rinse and repeat until he's ready to die for realsies. And occasionally he'll throw the orbs at you, as I said. Carry them back so you can do big damage. And eventually he will be ready to do his instant death attack a 3rd time. Just go ahead and knock down the final pillar there. That automatically opens him up for a kill, even though he's not even close to having no health. That's it. We are done with Charon. Stupid bullshit second phase, but the third phase is quite simple. So now we're going to go ahead and take his mask. Oh, no, wait a minute. Like a horror movie, Charon is back for one last scare, and it really is just one last scare. The 4th phase of this fight against the upper half of Charon's body is very simple. The only thing he does in this 4th phase is just throw green orbs at you. Fast. He throws them fast, but all he does is throw the green orbs at you. And once you reflect back just a couple of them, it's time for the actual QTE to end the fight. And that's it. We kill him, and we're done. See you all next time for when we move on to the final area of the game and get our final item. Hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.
Having defeated Charon, Kratos journeyed deeper into Hades and closer to his goal. For in the distance, the bright light of Helios illuminated all of the underworld. But something on the shore caught his attention. And to Kratos, it almost seemed an apparition.
Calliope!
Upon seeing his daughter, Kratos realized that all that he had been working for all that he had wanted was within reach. Years of service to the gods had not delivered him from his pain, never had it eased the burden of his past. And now, Calliope was found.
Calliope!